How about that? Detroit Lions win big over the team that the Packers were afraid to throw the ball against. A big win today, 24-point victory over the Browns, 34-10, and it could have been a lot more points for the Lions, totally. We had quite a few drives there, and with basically like false starts. We had maybe 5 or so false starts on offense, and then we also had some deep shot opportunities, could not connect on with Jameson Williams. And yeah, really fun game there. Definitely a lot of great defense from the Lions. You got the 2 sacks from Aiden Hutchinson, one being a sack fumble, 2 interceptions, and generally Joe Flacco not playing well. And another takeaway from this game, definitely Quinshon Judkins looks like a very good running back. He was pretty consistently breaking tackles and, kind of pushing the pile forward and getting more yardage than you thought he really could. So, yeah, maybe in a couple of years when the Browns actually get a quarterback, they could maybe have an interesting offense with Judkins in there. Now, the Browns were actually able to score first in this game. After holding the Lions, they were able to get Jerry Jeudy on a big pass from Joe Flacco. Definitely one of his best throws of the game and maybe one of his best throws of the season so far. That was an incredible kind of deep shot over the shoulder, 45-yard pass or so. This was a beautiful throw, and that would set up Quinshon Judkins to score on 4th and 1 after the Lions held the Browns quarterback sneaks on back-to-back plays. That was pretty impressive on the goal line to hold them there, but then Judkins able to get in on the 4th and 1 play, but that's still really good to see goal line defense like that on back-to-back plays nonetheless. But then with the Browns up by 7, Lions get a pretty nice drive going all the way down the field, utilizing the run and the play-action pass. And on this drive, you had Jared Goff under pressure quickly on one of the plays. Myles Garrett working on Penei Sewell on the right side. Goff kind of steps up and then extends the play, running kind of under that block, hitting St. Brown downfield for a really nice play. It was just a really nice play on the move, hitting someone downfield. That's typically something Goff has struggled with, but this is a really nice throw. And that would set up Jahmyr Gibbs with an 8-yard touchdown run. Really nice blocking on this one. He kind of starts on the outside, then cuts inside of a block from Laporta, I believe, then cuts back outside of a block from St. Brown for the 8-yard touchdown run on the goal line. That was really nice. And then you had one of the more insane plays of the game. Definitely, probably going to be one of the easiest interceptions for any defender this season. I mean, Joe Flacco just throws this right at Kirby Joseph. But if you look on the bottom of your screen there, the receiver kind of stops running and turns inside. So it's kind of like, I do think Joe Flacco thought Cedric Tillman was going to take that deep, but even if he was going to take that deep, you're throwing it into double coverage. Just a terrible decision from Joe Flacco there, and this is kind of why they probably should bench him very soon, because he's not even, being a solid game manager. He's just coming out there, throwing it into double coverage, and on this play, just completely misreading it. There's no reason to go deep there if you have, a safety over top in a corner. He thought he had single coverage, but definitely Kirby Joseph was kind of running that way post-snap. So definitely wasn't just a simple one-on-one shot. And yeah, that interception would set up a nice 48-yard field goal by Jake Bates. And that was followed by 4 consecutive punting drives with a lot of penalties, false starts, definitely for the Lions here. And a few missed shots from Jared Goff, not quite connecting with Jameson Williams. Yeah, just unfortunate. There were definitely quite a few of these type of plays where it really should have been maybe a touchdown, but just could not quite connect on them. And that's why I really do think the Lions could have won by a lot more. And then we have a second interception from Joe Flacco here. On the sideline, it is Jerry Jeudy kind of falling down as he comes out of his break, in my opinion. This one's not really Joe Flacco's fault. It just kind of looked like Jerry Jeudy was trying to come back to the ball here and falls down. Definitely not pass interference in my opinion. That is clean defensive back play by DJ Reed. Really nice play here. And he mostly catches that with one hand. So, yeah, pretty impressive interception there, returning it to the 5-yard line. And then you get an easy touchdown from Amon-Ra St. Brown. This was interesting. Kind of just like a miscommunication probably on the Browns side. But some reason there was really nobody covering St. Brown. You kind of had two guys both going inside on this one. Kind of a pick play, but like I don't know if number 33 or number 9 was kind of responsible, but one of those guys was definitely supposed to go with St. Brown as he went to the flat there. So, and really, that's just the benefit of having a great play caller. You're going to get your guys wide open like that on the goal line sometimes, and it's just an easy touchdown. And that is why these great play callers in the NFL are so valuable. And then the Browns going 3 and out once again. You have a nice play to Sam Laporta over the middle, kind of working the seam versus it looked like a quarter half where like none of the linebackers kind of carried Laporta up the seam, and it was just a really nice job by Jared Goff putting it right on him, and he got a really nice play. Wasn't able to find a video of this one, but it did set up a nice field goal to end the first half there, putting the Lions up 20-7. And then coming out of the half, Browns punt leading to this Jared Goff interception to Denzel Ward, trying to hit Jamison on the deep post route, but the backside corner is kind of drifting off of his side, coming over to help. And Jared Goff kind of thought he had single high man coverage maybe, but definitely Denzel Ward was kind of falling off into that zone. So yeah, that's not one where I would really get too upset at Jared Goff. I think he was just really trying to get his guy involved because at this point they had already tried a few times on deep shots and not connected. And I kind of understand trying to get him a big play. Following that interception, the Browns are able to go kick a field goal with a short field. And then the Lions go 3 and out. Following that, the Browns had a drive where they missed a field goal. However, one of the more impressive plays of the day was made from Isaiah Bond here, working the right sideline, and Amik Robertson is all over in this one. And somehow he catches this one. Definitely a pretty cool play there from the undrafted wide receiver out of Texas. Then the Lions following drive, 4th and 2, we do not get it. I do like to see Dan Campbell going for these ones pretty much all at a time. I want to see our offensive coordinator get these chances and show what he has, because when it really matters, you're going to have to do these 4th and shorts. And this is one of those where, it just didn't really work out running the ball there. But, you got to keep trying. I think if you want to win a lot of games in this league, I think you have to be able to convert those types of scenarios. And yeah, one play before this, you had the 3rd and 2 pass to Jamison Williams, just kind of dropped it. It was really just right in his hands. Pretty unfortunate, that one. And it's also kind of unfortunate, they didn't really connect a lot today, but I wouldn't really worry too much about that. Jamison Williams has been really insanely good for about a year and a half now. I would say he's been a very, very good player. So I'm not really worried about them not being on the same page a couple times or just not quite connecting today. I think going forward, that's not probably going to be a problem. I think this is more of a random game. And following that, 4th and 2, stopped by the Browns. Lions get a 3 and out, and then this punt return fielded by Khalif Raymond on the right side, cutting back across the field, outrunning everyone for a huge 65-yard return touchdown. And he is definitely a guy who can consistently make plays like this a few times a season. Yeah, it's just great to have somebody like that back there returning punts. Then following that punt return touchdown, another 3 and out. And then the Lions on offense finally get the ball to Jamison Williams on a pretty nice big play. Just kind of giving him a feel-good moment, I think, and that will help definitely going forward, I think. Just to get one of those big plays and feel like you did something great today. I feel like I do feel like that's important for, players' confidence and that kind of stuff. And I think it definitely felt like a weight was lifted off of the whole offense after he got a nice big play there, one of the Lions' last drives, but they did punt that drive. And this was the drive before the Aiden Hutchinson sack fumble. Really nice job here, just, swiping the ball as he's coming in. He had a similar play earlier in the game where he was inches away from swiping away the ball as Flacco's basically pulling his arm back to try and throw it. And this time he just gets his hand right on there, knocks it out. And Lions recover, setting up another touchdown for Amon-Ra St. Brown on a little screen pass. And that was pretty much it. Both teams threw in some backups after that, trying to milk out the clock. And, overall, pretty good game for the Lions. Could have been a lot better. But I think overall you got to feel pretty good about how we handled both lines of scrimmage. I felt like Aiden Hutchinson looked like he did before he got hurt, so that's really good to see him just, completely dominate that tackle, the right tackle. For the Browns, totally could not handle him. And yeah, anytime you're coming off a serious injury, it's always good to see that guy get back to where he was. And I think Aiden Hutchinson is back there right now. But yeah, I would say it's still really impressive for the Lions to win by 24 points in a day where we had a ton of false starts. We also had all these missed plays to Jameson Williams, kind of ending drives and stuff. So for the defense to really show up here, get 3 turnovers, and we still mostly dominated this game without big plays from our offense, and that is very impressive. But anyways, that's all I have for you today. We will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.